Yogiram Surat Kumar, Yogiram Surat Kumar, Yogiram Surat Kumar, Jai Guru Raya. भगवान श्री योगीराम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगीराम सूरत कुमारार्पणमस्तु। We have all been so fortunate to be able to sing this powerful Nama of Bhagavan Yogiram Surat Kumar and offer it at his feet. From this place, from the shrine of Yogiram Surat Kumar, which is full of his power and grace. So there is the added Shakti of this place to the Nama. Today we shall see another incident, another Leela of Bhagavan, which again illustrates the glory of the divinity in him. One Sri Ramaniji, who was working as a teacher in Chennai, came to Tapovanam of Sri Gyananandagiri Swamigal for his darshan. It was a Saturday, morning around 7:30, Sri Ramaniji joined the queue for the darshan of Sri Gyanananda Swami. He wanted to take leave of him, but when he approached Swami, Sri Gyanananda Swami said, "Today is only Saturday, this is the weekend, and surely this is holiday for the school, so why don't you stay tonight and go tomorrow? And again in the shrine of Sri Hanumanji, there is some special puja tonight, you can attend that." Sri Ramaniji could not bring himself to say no, so he agreed and stayed on. And when the evening came, the pujari had decorated Sri Hanumanji with beautiful flower malas. And also Bada mala. It is a snack very dear to Sri Hanumanji, so it was done as a mala and offered to him. And the pujari said, "Look, I am going to do this puja. This is Sahasranama puja. There are 1,000 names, and therefore you take the book and you pronounce them, and I shall do the puja." So at the end of the puja, the pujari offered this white pongal made up of rice and dal. But while offering it, he was also saying, "I am offering not only this white pongal, I am offering you the sweet pongal, and I am offering you this tamarind rice, and I am offering you the sesame rice." So saying, he completed his offering to Sri Hanuman, and then the Deeparadhana took place. Watching all this, there, Sri Ramaniji had a doubt. He was asking, "Why is that always you used to offer these? You used to have all this cooked by the cook, but today I see only this white pongal and no sweet pongal or the tamarind rice or the sesame rice. Why is that? There is only one offering here." Then the pujari said, "The cook has gone to Tirkovilu. He said he would come early and do all this, but somehow he did not turn up, so I had to do all this myself. I did the vada and made a mala of it and garlanded Sri Hanumanji, and I did only this. There was no time for me left." And then Sri Ramaniji had a doubt again. He asked him, After offering only this one kind of offering, you are telling him that you are offering the other varieties as well. How could a God accept this? This is a lie. So when this conversation was going on, there were only about 5 or 6 people there, and in the corner there was a North Indian, the dirty dhoti and a dirty kurta, and the hair, the long hair falling, it was unkempt. He was watching, but his eyes were shining with the ultimate knowledge of God, the fire of knowledge of God. So, surely everybody knows by now that it is our Swami Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar. And he was asking somebody around what was going on between the Pujari and Sri Ramaniji. So they narrated it in English. And after that, there was a smile on his lips. Now, in the meantime, the Pujari, he wanted to give some prasad to Bhagwan. So he went straight to him. And Bhagwan immediately cupped both his hands, and the Pujari offered a huge ball of this pongal, the prasad, in his hand. Swami happily accepted, and he straight away started to eat, putting his mouth right into the pongal straight. A little later, this Pujari said, Swami, please give me your uchishtam, your leftover, your prasad to me. Swami smiled and then offered both his hand, the cupped hand with the pongal, leftover pongal. And then the Pujari put his hand there and took a small ball of that and put it into his mouth. And then there was such joy in his face. He was saying, this is nectar, this is nectar. I got nectar, the very nectar itself from your hand. And with great joy, he rushed forward and told Sri Ramaniji, don't miss this chance. Here is a great, great soul standing there, the great divinity itself. Go take this prasad. It's only on the merit of the meritorious deeds of many births that you could get such a chance, the leftover of a great soul. Go, don't miss that. So pushed him ahead. Sri Ramaniji studied this North Indian God-man, and he knew instantly that it was the fire of knowledge that was shining in the eyes of this North Indian master. So he also went there with folded hands. He begged for some prasad, and then Swami, with a smile, as before, offered the pongal in his hand and gestured to Sri Ramaniji to take some. So just as Pujari did, Sri Ramaniji put his hand and took a small ball and put it there. It was very much like the white pongal. It tasted very well, but it was this white pongal. And then Bhagavan smiled again, gestured to him to take another little prasad, another morsel of that. And Ramaniji did so, and this time when he put it into his mouth, it was the sweet pongal. It was so tasty, and he was surprised. Just 1 second before, it was this white pongal with the salt, and now it is sweet pongal in his mouth. How did this white pongal turn into sweet pongal? And then again Bhagavan smiled towards him and gestured to him to take a little more. So this time he put his hand again and took another morsel, put it in his mouth, and this time it tasted just like the tamarind rice. Again he put his hand, again at the gesture of Bhagavan, he put his hand and took one more morsel, and this time it tasted very much like the sesame pongal. Then he knew instantly that what the Pujari offered, though it was only one variety of offering, the pujari offered the same from the very soul and heart, as sweet pongal, as tamarind rice, as the sesame rice. He could not make it, he could not cook it because there was no time, but then he offered it soulfully to Shri Hanumanji, and as a proof of his acceptance, he got the prasad from this great soul, the divinity that was standing there in a corner in the form of an ordinary. Shri Ramaniji understood that the offering itself does not matter, but the love with which you offer, the soulful offering, is more important than the variety that we offer. In what bhava, in what state of mind, and where from the soul. Whatever we offer, it reaches God just as we offer. This is what he learned through this very sweet leela of Bhagavan Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar. And this is what we also learn. Whatever we offer, we don't have to worry that we don't have a particular variety of offering to offer on special days. All we have to do is imagine whatever offering we give, just imagine that that is the offering that is dear to Bhagavan, and then it will really be accepted as that. So we can apply it to our life also. Though we are not fully qualified, we are not highly evolved souls to offer ourselves to God, we can still offer ourselves at the feet of our Guru, at the feet of God, as a soulful offering from the heart, and God would accept it gladly and take over our life. So let us offer this prayer, our soulful prayer at the feet of Bhagavan. Sarvam Yogiram Surat Kumararpanastu. It's been a beautiful morning here, with slight drizzle. And this being Guruvar, Thursday, devoted to the Guru, we have been extremely fortunate to be able to sing the Guru Nama for the past 1 hour, and those who joined us from their places have been equally fortunate. This could have happened only because of our meritorious deeds over many, many births. Now, before we start our prayer of this morning, let us see one leela of Bhagavan, where how his Nama protects, helps, guides the devotees. Sri Krishnamurti ji, the editor of a very popular Tamil newspaper in Tamil Nadu, he's been a devotee for many years, a very humble man. He would not demand attention or darshan from Bhagavan. He would be at a distance. If he could get a glimpse of him, that was enough for him. All the same, big things were happening to him. One day, when Bhagavan was seated just outside Pradhan Mandir, giving darshan, the one by one darshan to the devotees, Sri Krishnamurti ji came and had one look at him, and suddenly Swami disappeared. And there was only a dazzling, brilliant light waves in huge waves everywhere. He was unable to see. It was like Arjuna seeing the Vishwarupa of Krishna. Every time he would begin to describe, he would end up only with tears, unable to express himself. He would be totally lost, overwhelmed with the experience. Once he was very much interested as a hobby in numismatics, in collecting the old coins from different countries. And there was a meeting in Spain. He was invited to that. After attending the meeting, the whole lot of them were taken in a bus to see an old fort in Spain. So they went there, they saw everything, and when they were coming out together, suddenly a huge crowd entered the doorway, and therefore they were all scattered. So after that, when he came out, he found that all those people who accompanied him had gone, and the bus was not there. He did not know how to get back. He was in a state of total confusion. He began to ask desperately everyone around, and everyone spoke only in Spanish. He could not understand a word. After 8 or 9 people, suddenly he remembered Swami and his name. He was chanting and seeking his grace for guidance. Just at that time, a man was coming along. So Krishnamurti ji approached him and asked, and that man answered in English. He was so happy. And immediately he was able to get back and then catch his plane also back home. Another time, he had gone to Italy, was staying in a hotel in Rome, and a little distance away, there was a vegetarian restaurant. He was taking food. For those few days he stayed there, he was going there. He always carried the visiting card of the hotel with him, the address, everything. But that particular day he had removed the code, forgotten, and he was walking straight to the restaurant. It was okay, he could reach and have. He could have food also, but when he came out, he was stunned. First time he was seeing these 5 lanes looking very similar. He was unable to make out which lane should he take to reach the hotel. Again the same story repeated, and then he started to chant Bhagavan's name and was praying to him. And then even while chanting and praying, he was approaching one of the lanes, and suddenly something about the lane seemed very familiar to him, and he started to walk, and he found that it was the right one and reached the hotel safely. This guidance, again, this guidance, this help, this protection, they are for all the journey of life. So here, at this moment, the whole world needs his guidance, his help, his protection. So we have been chanting his powerful nama, and let us submit our prayer to that compassion which would help, guide and protect the devotees who call out to him helplessly. Bhagavan, kindly pour your grace upon this entire humanity, which is in a very similar state, not knowing what to do, unable to help themselves, being caught in the cruel grip of this dreadful virus. Please free them from this state and bring normalcy in every aspect of life, everywhere, and help all these medical researchers to find that right potent vaccine very soon. And not only that, please enter that medicine, because you have often said it is not the medicine, neither the medicine nor the doctor that cure the disease. It is your Father, the Divine, that cures. So please enter this medicine and do the job kill this virus instantly, once for all. Sarvam Yogiram Suratkumararpanastu. Today evening also, we shall share a certain delightful Leela of Bhagavan, which illustrates how Bhagavan comes to the rescue of his devotees in different ways, at different levels, in different circumstances. It's one more glimpse. Sri Ramakant Rai, Bhagavan's earlier life, brother-in-law, used to come with his wife and stay here. In the last quite a few years, in the last 20 years, they had been coming often, staying here. Once they had come, they came to the morning breakfast hut, and then Mamaji started to narrate an experience with a smile on his face. He said, always he and his wife together would go visit the holy places, enjoy the darshan of the various deities. But once, due to aging, he fell sick and he was unable to move about freely. But at that time, his younger daughter had planned to go for Vaishnava Devi darshan in the Himalayas. Mamiji was a little tempted to go with them. Though Mamaji was sick and unable to join them, Mamiji thought this was her chance to have darshan of Vaishnava Devi. If she missed it, she may not get another chance. She might not get another chance. So thinking so, she also joined, which of course met with disapproval from Mamaji. But Mamaji was a little afraid of Mamiji. He did not want to stop her. At the same time, he wanted to stop her. He was in a dilemma, but finally he agreed and he gave permission to Mamiji, and Mamiji also pushed off from there with her daughter. But after they left, Mamaji was regretting having to be alone now, unattended by Mamiji, and missing the darshan also. In the night, he had a dream in which Bhagavan appeared. Yogiram Suratkumar Bhagavan appeared. And what was more, the question that was going round and round in his mind, in his own mind, in Mamaji's mind, came out of Swami. Swami said, Ramakant, how could your wife leave you here like this and join others for touring? How could you allow her to go? How could she do this to you? You have always gone together. Mamaji was very regretful. He said, how can I bring myself to ask her? I am scared. It is you who should ask her. You ask her. He took the liberty to say that to Bhagavan. But as soon as he mentioned it, again the fear took over. What if Mamiji comes to know that he has recommended this and Bhagavan should talk to her or do something to her? She would be very angry. So he wanted to say, Bhagavan, please don't do anything. Let them go as per the plan. Let them have darshan and come back. But by the time he started, Bhagavan disappeared in his dream. Bhagavan had often said, if he or any deity appear in a dream, it is no dream at all, it's reality. It is in truth. Those people come in their subtle bodies, in the subtle level of the dream, and communicate. And therefore, Bhagavan had truly appeared in his dream. And now the next day, what happened? These people are going in a train. It was between Punjab and UP, and they were going in a train towards Khatri, that is Vaishno Devi's place. And suddenly, the train was stopped brutally. And then a rush of people, crowds and crowds of them, they began to climb all over the train. Some of them entered into the train, and there was some kind of confusion. And people were afraid, and some of them were getting down and started walking away. So knowing that they could not proceed any further, these people also, Mamaji's people also got down from the train and very hastily pushed off from the place. Haridwar was only 3 hours from that place, so they came over to Haridwar, gave a telegram to Mamaji that they could not complete the tour, they could not have the darshan of Vaishno Devi because the train was stopped. And so they were returning. Mamaji was very happy. At the same time, Mamaji was also afraid. What if his wife should come back angry, and if she should take it out on him? So he was a little afraid inside. But what happened was something else. When Mamaji returned, she was very regretful that she left him and went away, and that is why this happened. She apologized to him for having done like this. And what was more, very soon after that, as soon as Mamaji recovered, they planned the trip again, and both of them together went and had darshan of Vaishno Devi. We see from this incident how Bhagavan operates, how Bhagavan's grace comes to the rescue of people in different ways. Now to this Bhagavan knows what is happening in today's world, how afraid we are all, how we are panicking. And we appeal to His grace to free this entire humanity from the Rakshasic clutches of this terrible virus and bring normalcy in every aspect of life, everywhere. Sarvam Yogiram Surat Kumara Arpanamastu. There is a story which gives us a glimpse of the endless power that is Yogiram Surat Kumara. Once, 2 devotees of the ashram, a couple by name Sri Ganesh and his wife Srimati Ganga, they've been coming to the ashram for a number of years, and they would be doing Pada Puja every month. Now, 3 years back, they decided to settle down in Thiruvannamalai and do seva permanently to the ashram. And they would go to Tirupati, Venkatachalapati, for darshan every month. Last year, 2019, in the month of March, on a Sunday, they were driving to Tirupati. They went straight to Kalahasti, had darshan of Lord Shiva there, and after that, Sri Ganesh wanted to take a short path so that they could reach Tiruchanur, where Padmavati, Mother Padmavati, is giving darshan. So he wanted to take a short route, and he was driving his car also very fast. It was a narrow road, not frequented by people. It was very deserted, and also it was getting dark. So they even entered Tiruchanur, and there was an extraordinary situation. People were coming in crowds, and they seemed to be frightened. And what was more, they were hastily moving away in crowds. Suddenly, Shri Ganesh felt that something extraordinary was happening there, and there was fear in his stomach. Ganga started to chant Bhagavan Yogiram Saratkumar's Nama. And then at a distance, they saw the vessels from those shops on either side were all thrown out on the road. They were all scattered. And there were flowers also scattered all around, because that's the way to the temple of Padmavati. And suddenly they saw a huge figure appearing at a distance. It was very dark and huge, hefty, and the face looked very agitated, angry, and mad. What was more, that man was walking any way he liked. He had only a small towel around his waist, very carelessly thrown, and he was moving about at great speed, breaking open some of the shops and pulling out things and throwing them on the road. And also, he was chasing some people, and they were running away, frightened. What a situation. They had never come across such a situation before, but then they had taken an unusual pathway to the place, and it was getting dark. So he knew he was coming very fast, so now he has reduced the speed. He was moving slowly because the crowds were all crossing them. And suddenly he stopped the car because this man was there just in front of the car. He was very frightened, Ganesh, and he was stunned out of all action. He was not able to think at all. But his wife was chanting, Yogiram Saratkumar, Yogiram Saratkumar, loudly. And that man, that ruffian, came straight to their car, and with his fist, he brought it down with a big thud, almost breaking the bonnet. And again, they were so frightened, Ganga started to scream, Yogiram Saratkumar, Yogiram Saratkumar, Yogiram Saratkumar. And suddenly this man came to the side of Ganga. Ganga had closed the window only half, and so half of it was open. So he was trying to put his hand inside. And again, she was screaming, Yogiram Saratkumar, Yogiram Saratkumar, Yogiram Saratkumar. We do not know what happened. It must have created such terrible vibrations around. And that man suddenly fell down. The man who was very active, standing there, kicking out at people and breaking things, the minute she screamed, Yogiram Saratkumar, Yogiram Saratkumar, helplessly fell down. Can we imagine what is happening? He fell down, and immediately Shri Ganeshji had the presence of mind to start the car. And he moved away hastily, some 20 meters far, and then he stopped the car and looked back. Now this man was getting up, and his focus was now on the other cars that were coming in. So he drove on to the temple, and there, in the temple, there around the temple, the situation was as usual. There was not even a trace of what was going on a few meters away. So they sighed with a great relief, and they realized that Bhagavan had saved them from a certain danger. There was no damage to the car, neither to the car nor to them. all because, thanks to Bhagavan Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar's Nama. Then they came to hear from those people around that from time to time, the Naxalites from the nearby forests would enter and they would drink heavily and create this havoc around. And people would be very frightened and they would just run away from the place. And nobody seemed to do anything about it. This was going on for several years, but nobody dared to do anything about it. People simply submitted. Mr. Ganesh did not know why this was happening, why this was being allowed there. Well, it's left to the divine to sort it out. But our point is, this Bhagavan's Nama saved them from a certain disaster. And that reminds me of another incident. In the early 60s, 1962-63, there was a war between China and India. It was just beginning. At that time, one Naxalite had come to Tiruvannamalai and he was hiding in the forests of Tiruvannamalai. But somehow he came across Bhagavan Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar. And of course, Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar had the knack to know such people because his work upon them is very important. So they made friends. Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar made friends with that man who had done such bad things to the society, was now hiding. And then this friendship, because of this friendship, that man began to change. And what was more, there would be exchange of news between them. So one day, this Naxalite came and reported to Bhagavan that the Third World War was about to begin. And this China, this would very soon lead to, this is the talk, the rumor, the heavy rumor around, that very soon the Third World War would begin. Immediately, Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar walked very fast and this Naxalite was running behind him. Swami climbed the stairs of this chariot mandap and there on the top step he stood. What was more, to the horror of this Naxalite, Swami began to grow in size. He grew and grew to the very height of the skies. It was a Vishwarupa. And there he looked up, the Naxalite, he saw the planets hanging like fruits from a tree. And Swami simply put out his hands and began to they changed their positions here and there. And after that, he threw his hands out and said, "My father has set right everything. There will be no Third World War. There will be no Third World War now." He declared, and then after that again he became the small form that he was familiar with. Now this Naxalite, seeing the whole, he was like Arjuna before the Vishwarupa of Sri Krishna. Something permanently changed in him. The friendship that he held with Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar changed into devotion of a devotee towards God. So in one stone, Bhagavan achieved two fruits. The Naxalite got transformed and the Third World War was completely avoided. So you see, Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar, the true Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar, the truth of Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar got revealed not to a devotee, but to someone like an Naxalite. We do not know what is involved in all these things, but we know now what Bhagavan could do. To such Bhagavan, we shall pray, Swami, today, that like those Naxalites, the world is in the grip, the cruel grip of such a Rakshasa, a coronavirus. We pray to you to free this entire humanity from the clutches of this and bring back normalcy in every aspect of life everywhere.